Good day, students. Something arrived in the post today, and that is my Pokemon Tazo Collection, amongst some other things. I haven't seen these in about 15 years, and these are some of my most prized possessions. And the reason I haven't seen them in so long is because I was kicked out of home at gunpoint by my crazy South African stepbrother. And I haven't seen these things because I couldn't take everything with me when I left. So my mother has sent these to me with a whole bunch of other things, and they're really bringing back a lot of memories. And the reason that I love these so much is because I won these as a kid. These used to come in packets of chips, and we would play this game, which was basically Pogs, where you would stack these things and then throw another one at them to get them to flip over. And if you got them to flip over, you could keep them. So I would very rarely buy a packet of chips, or a friend would give me one of these things, and then I would just start winning them. So these are essentially my trophies from the playground when I was young. I've organized them into little piles based on the element or the power that they have. And there's some other stuff on the side here from my childhood and other stuff that used to get in packets of chips, Dragon Ball Z and other cartoons. I just want to preface this with an apology to all Pokemon fans. I never played the games as a kid, so I don't know much about Pokemon. I used to watch the cartoon series, and I used to collect these, and I used to have some cards, and that's about as far as my knowledge goes. So I definitely don't know anything about the new Pokemon. I only know from about 2001, 1999, 2001, probably before that even. So please forgive me for my ignorance on the subject. So I'm going to start out with this grass pile because it's the biggest. I think it's the most common Pokemon type, or at least the most common Tazo type. And this one is Pineco with the bug power. I don't know if they're grass type Pokemon or bug type. Here you can see its height, its weight, its type, and a bunch of other information from the world of Johto. No idea what that means. And it's a pine cone with eyes, which is very cool. Why wouldn't it be? Here we've got doubles of Totodile, and same kind of information on the back there with the beautiful Pokeball illustration. This one is a water power, and it seems to be some kind of enthusiastic baby crocodile. Humanoid crocodile thing. Okay, let's have a look at that holographic Pokemon, very precious. These must have been quite expensive to make. Here we've got 3 different stages of evolution of Machop, Machamp, and Machoke. I guess Machamp is the 3rd one, and then Machoke. It's number 66, 67, and 68. Let's just get that in frame. I apologize if I'm not getting it in frame each time. And then at the back, it's very, very dirty. Just bear in mind that these have been through the hands of children from 1999, thrown in the dirt over and over again, been through my little dirty hands as a child. So yeah, you can see what it beats. I don't remember ever this coming into the game. Normal, rock, and ice. We would just flip them over and then take them. We wouldn't look at that. I think that must have been introduced later. But these are from the 3D Tazo brand. Got to catch them all. So let's have a look at some of these, in quotation marks, normal power Pokemon. I've got quite a few of these as well, with the reddish-orange background. This is Blissey. I don't remember ever seeing Blissey, but there you go. Height, weight, and type. I never saw this one in the cartoon, is what I mean. But it looks like it's a pink ball with some curly hair and an egg in its pouch. So it's a very feminine, maternal type Pokemon. It's both maternal and childlike at the same time. Alright, well, we've got 2 of these Stantlers, so we might as well get these out the way. These are some normal power Pokemon, and they resemble deer, I suppose. Some kind of deer or buck. And oh, there you go. I've also organized the piles based on their quality, or their state of maintenance, or what's the word I'm looking for? Their wear and tear. Let's have a look at this ground type Pokemon here. We've got Gilligar, which is like a little bat with lobster claws, and it's a super ground type, which is extra special. Super ground. That's pretty cool. Still trying to think of that word, but yes, I've organized them by their quality. This pile here has some humans and some other ones that I just couldn't categorize, but there's some really cool ones in this pile. This is just a 2D Ash showing a little badge there. It beats all, so this is obviously quite a powerful one in some game that I don't know, but we would just treat these all as the same. But you can see that's quite a special one. There's a holographic one right under there, but I'm gonna just come back to that pile later. Let's have a look at this fire type over here. So now it's not saying power anymore, now it's saying type. This is Typhlosion. Also a Pokemon that I'm not familiar with. I'm only really familiar with the Season 1 Pokemons, I think. Ice, Bug, Grass, and Steel are what it beats. This is from the world of Johto. Now they've got it highlighted in blue. There you go, very fiery. It's kind of like a badger with a mane of flame. So let's have a look at one of these guys, which is a holographic poison type. I haven't got many of these poison types, very few. But this is actually kind of a famous one, I know, from Harmontown. Nidoran. We've got Nidoran and Nidoking. And Nidorano is 3. So this is a special one. Sorry, so let's just repeat that. Got Nidoking, Nidoran, and Nidorano. And it's a poison type. And then the back is just regular, it beats grass and bug types. 3D Tazos. These are fantastic. I really like these holographic ones with the evolved forms. I guess Nidoran is kind of like a dinosaur bunny, right? It transforms into a rhino. It's like a bunny that transforms into a rhino. So some of these are very poor quality, just from wear and tear. I've got them on the outskirts here, such as this guy, which is Geodude. He looks kind of good like this though, because he's like a rugged Pokemon, so it kind of reflects his rock power, and he beats ice, bug, flying, and fire. I really like how they've printed those icons there. But this is very well made. This is a well-made toy, and it's made to last a long time. And you can wash these in water, and it's fine. And I just want to compare these to some Zigs, which are these things here, which just have like some sort of generic artwork on them. There's no names. Well, they do have names. But that's about it. And they're like Pogs. But these are very poor quality. I actually kind of wish I still had my brother's Pogs. I wonder where those are. But I think you buy these Zigs, and these come free. So these are very high quality. I remember Pogs being quite high quality too. So this is my generation's version of Pogs. My brother's generation had Pogs, and they had slammers and all kinds of different materials and stuff like that. I would have actually loved to see those again one day. Let's see, what else do we have? We've got these triangular ones, which are unusual. This is one of my favorite ones because it's got Ash in 3 different poses. The triangular ones don't last as well as the circular ones just because they warp so easy. The corners are very fragile. But you can see these used to come in packets of Doritos, which makes sense. And these were called tries. Beats all, as do all of the Ash Tazos, it seems. Alright, let's have a look at an electricity type here. Looks like we've got doubles of Elekid. Elekid. I see what they were going for with that name. It doesn't really work that well, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Elekid. Electrid should have been his name. Electrid. Elekid. His power is electric, and he's sort of like a budget version of Pikachu. He's got like a plug for a head. What do you call it in America? It's a plug electrical outlet. He's got like an electrical outlet for a head. And he's got some massive Popeye forearms with some claws on them, so he's quite formidable. Really just a sort of rip-off budget. We got Pikachu at home kind of thing. Alright. What's next? Let's have a look at these guys, which are also fire types in a different power. I thought these were different. I thought these were lava types or something, but this is Rapidash. I do remember this one from when I was really, really small. Playing in the sandpit, even, I remember. Rapidash. And Grass, Ice, Bug, Steel is what it beats. Quite like that one. I'm going to put it in the fire pile over here. So I don't think we've looked at any of these psychic types yet. But we've got Lugia, which I believe is from one of the movies. I never really owned any of the movies, but I watched one or two of the movies at a friend's house when I was a kid, at like a sleepover. This one, it's kind of like a dinosaur, or like a giant turkey with hands. I guess it's a dragon. I guess you could call it. It's like a psychic dragon. Not really my favorite. This is kind of when Pokemon started getting ridiculous to me. I think this is when I started growing out of it. Was when they had the movies. I like the TV show. I like the Tazos, but the psychic dragons kind of lost me. Okay, let's have a look at... We've seen a rock type already, haven't we? We might as well, seeing as I touched it, touch move. It's very dirty looking Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo, I guess is the best way to say that. And he's like a twig, he's like a Groot type, very dirty back as well. And this is a rock type. It's like a little tree. It's probably the first form Pokemon. Let's have a look at one of these guys. Actually, let's take another chunk out of this pile here. So, Kukuna. This pile over here is the dirty ones, and these ones are the clean ones. Relatively clean. And this one is I suppose like a intermediate phase Pokemon. between like a caterpillar and a bug type. And it beats Psychic and Grass. I actually remember having cards like this. I don't know where my Pokemon cards are. It's another thing that I would love to find. Kukuna. It's a cocoon with eyes. Might as well take a chunk out of the dirty grass or bug pile. Okay, this one's power is grass, so they sometimes say grass and they sometimes say bug. This one is a chikorita. It's just like a sort of cute vegetable with legs and eyes. I guess you could call it like I actually have no idea, like a melon or something. Yeah, and there you go. Doesn't beat anything, it's just what it is. Right, let's take another chunk out of the water pile over here, seeing as it's also relatively big. This is supposed to be a clean one, but I guess it's not as dirty as some of the dirty ones. It's a Squirtle. Everybody knows Squirtle. This is Season 1. I'm very familiar with Squirtle. Beats rock, ground, and fire. Squirtle, Squirtle. Everybody knows Squirtle. He's a turtle. That squirts. Alright, next up, let's double hit the water pile. Next up we got Hosea. It's almost like a Spanish guy. Hosea. It's a seahorse. It's a little blue seahorse. Are all amphibious Pokemon water types? Because I feel like that's like almost more than half of all animals. Anyway, we've got rock, ground, and fire. And it's got little fins on its back. It's just a seahorse. There's nothing really subversive about it, except that it's got human eyes. Alright, so put that over there. Let's have a look at Snubbull. It's like a bulldog or a pug. I guess it's supposed to be a bulldog in a dress. Very unhappy or angry, but maybe that's just its resting face. And doesn't beat anything. But it's a normal type Pokemon. And it seems like we've got two of those. At least two Snubbulls. I would actually love to see the evolved type of that one. It seems quite interesting. So here we've got a very small pile. Oh, I thought they were doubles. But we've got Raticate. And it's a normal type, so that should actually be in the normal pile. It's got a different background though. And doesn't beat anything. That's quite sad. I guess none of the normal ones counter anything in particular. So there you go, that's a Raticate. It's a rat, basically. Let's have another look at the grass types, because that pile is massive. Got a Bulbasaur, which is in the same category as Squirtle for me, and Charmander. Those three, for some reason, all go together. And we've got ground, rock, and water. That's what it beats. And Bulbasaur is like a flower dinosaur, I think. That's the best way to describe it. There you go, Bulbasaur. And Bulbasaur is a grass type. And I need to make an apology here because my ignorance is showing. I had the bug and the grass type Pokemon in the same pile, which is why the pile was so large. I didn't realize there was a difference, but their backgrounds are different. They're both green, but the one is grass and the other one is more of like a vortex or something. So apologies there. I'm going to move forward by looking at the next water type, which is Cloyster, which I believe has something to do with churches in real life, like a cloister of priests or something. But in this case, it's a oyster and a clam. It's a cross between those two things, with a little black pearl with humanoid eyes. And it's rock, ground, and fire, which is what it beats. And not much more to say about that. That's Cloyster, number 91, water type Pokemon. Next, we've got, what is this over here? A dark type, Houndoom, and we've actually, oh no, that's different, so I'll leave that. But we've got Houndoom here, Houndoom. And I guess we might as well have a look at this one because it is related. It's not exactly the same. Houndoom is the evolved form of Houndour. Houndour. Don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's a dark type Pokemon, and Houndoom is the next type, and their numbers are consecutive. You've got 228 and 229, so it must be the next form up, and they both beat Psychic and Ghost. So we've got Psychic, Ghost, and Dark type Pokemon. It's kind of like a gothic dog from hell with horns. So it's like a gothic goat dog. It's a gothic goat dog. Okay, so that's the dark type Pokemon's gone. I suppose we can make some space. This is the special pile, and we can start taking out of the special pile. This is Murkrow. And it's also a holographic one, but it doesn't change, it just kind of zooms in, which is a little bit disappointing. Especially considering it's a very weak Pokemon. It's just like a crow. And it beats Psychic and Ghost. Oh, so this is also a dark type. So this goes with Houndoom. I should just disable that. Okay, so next we've got a normal type Pokemon. We've got Ursaring, number 217. And it's a giant bear wearing some kind of medieval robe with a big circle on the front. It's kind of like the ring. So it's a bear with a ring on its chest. It's the idea, it's the driving force behind this Pokemon. And there you go. It doesn't beat anything because it's normal and therefore bad. Trying not to swear in this video, don't know if you've noticed. So, next we've got Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet, we've got two of these. This is a ridiculous Pokemon. I've never seen anything like this in the cartoon, but it's a Wobbuffet. It's Wobbuffet. And it's a psychic type, which, I mean, you would never guess by looking at that. You would think it's like a drop of water. It's sort of like a beaver. Its tail has eyes. I think that is actually its real eyes. I think the tail is the creature, and then this thing at the front is like a defense mechanism, kind of like eye spots on a butterfly. There you go. Wobbuffet, related to the Star Wars guy, Jango Fett. Okay, next we have Haunter, the only ghost type in my whole collection. I think we've got all the types covered, at least all the types from those days. This one beats Psychic and Ghost, and it's a ghost type, so it beats types that it's... I remember this one in the cartoon as well. I remember they went to like a haunted house, and this is kind of a classic one. The classic ones are very basic sort of ideas behind them. It's just a ghost and it haunts, so it's Haunter. And it's just a sort of demon with some disembodied hands. I quite like that one, actually. It's one of my favorite Tazos right there. Let's have a look at the water pile, because it's still quite big. We've got Meryl here, which is like a little field mouse with a inflatable tail. And it's a water type. Not much to say about that little guy. It's cute. I like it. Not much to say. That's Meryl. Let's double tap this water pile. Oh, we've got a double of Meryl here. We might as well put that out the way. This one's slightly higher quality. I don't know if you can see that. I feel bad just touching these things. I need to get a portfolio for them. Here we've got Slow King. I remember this guy from the cartoons. I think this must be the highest evolved, because there was Slowpoke is the one that I remember. And so this one must be the evolved form of Slowpoke. And that's a water type Pokemon, Slow King. Slowpoke with some garb. Right, let's have a look at one of these very damaged psychic Pokemon, Abra. I remember Abra. It's Abra and Kadabra, right? Something like that. And it's what? Psychic. So there's no magic type. The magic types are just psychic, I think. There's no magnetic. Are they magnetic Pokemon? This one beats fighting and poison. We must have a fighting. Yeah, we have Machoke. This very, very rare type of Pokemon is the fighting type. There you go. Abra. Okay, let's hit this earth pile again. The ground type Pokemon. Sandslash. It's kind of like a mole crossed with a hedgehog crossed with a armadillo or pangolin of some kind. And it beats rock, fire, poison, and electric. Super Ground. Sandslash. I quite like that as a concept. Okay, let's hit the grass type. We've got a fancy holographic 3D Tazo. Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume. These 3D holographic ones are definitely some of my favorites. Each one of them is fantastic to look at. It beats ground, rock, and water. 3D Tazo. So we've got Oddish, which is a radish. We've got Gloom, which is like a blooming flower. And then we've got Vileplume, which is a fully bloomed flower, I assume. I assume that's the order. Or no, Gloom. Yeah, Vileplume is the highest evolved one. And it's kind of, the concept is kind of like it's a sort of plant with a personality disorder. Okay. What's next? Let's have a look at Miltank. We've got quite a few of these normal ones. So it's definitely the normal, the grass, and the blue, which are the water, man. The water, the normal, and the grass types are the most common. So this is I sounded very South African there for a second. Miltank, which is a cow. A cow that's standing upright with a ball on its tail and doesn't beat anything because it's normal, as we've established. It kind of looks like it's wearing a hood of some kind, like it's a superhero. And I guess it is because it's a Pokemon, and Pokemon have powers, so they're all kind of like superheroes. Yes. They're like little animal superheroes that you can force to fight each other for badges. Let's have a look at one of these triangular ones. the Dorito Tazos. This one, ooh, I think I just damaged it there just by bending it slightly, or maybe, I don't know what's happening there, but there you go. Ooh, oh no, I've broken it. Okay, well, you can sort of see it's, oh no. So this thing came off, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But it's, I can't read that. Pineco. Okay, don't bend these. Oh, we've got another one here to look at. Okay, so let's just put that one away. And let's be careful here. We've got Fortress and Pineco. Oh, we've got a Pineco already. Okay, so Fortress. I guess it's supposed to be like fortress, but with like forest. Fortress. It's kind of a cool concept. And it's just those two. But you can see this one's also kind of coming apart, so I need to be very careful with these. I guess I can fix that quite easily, just with a little bit of glue. But yeah, there you go. Two triangular ones out the way. Oh yeah, these are bug type Pokemon. And they beat Grass, Psychic, and Dark. Oh man, you can see this one's also coming apart. When they go a little bit milky or glossy, and you can't really see it properly, that's when you know it's coming apart. Why don't we just show one of these guys, which is a Dragon Ball Z Tazo. It's not a Tazo though, oh, it is a Tazo. It's a click Tazo. I think the metal is supposed to click in some way, but it doesn't. You don't want to manhandle it too much in case I break this one too. This one's very rusted around the edges, unlike the other two, which aren't that bad, which we'll see later. But this is Super Boo. So, not a Pokemon, but an anime character and a Tazo nonetheless. Looking very vascular there. Super Boo. They are kind of like Pokemons. They also evolve. They have many, especially the Saiyans. Anyway, back to the Pokemon. Let's have a look at this lonely Rhyhorn at the corner here. And this is a ground type Pokemon, a Rhyhorn. And I think it's a evolved form of, it's just a more evolved form. I don't know what it evolves from. It beats rock, fire, poison, and electric. Rhyhorn. You can see this one's quite damaged. I've got all the damaged ones on the edges. The good ones on the middle here. Let's have a look at this one. This one, although it's quite damaged, I put it in the middle because the only damage is like it's got some weird melted plastic on it. Sorry about just gonna wait for. Yeah, so this has just got some melted plastic on it, and that's all. Otherwise, it's in pretty good condition, comparatively to the really bad ones. And this one beats rock, ground, and fire. It's a Tentacruel. Quite a formidable looking Pokemon. I assume this is an evolved form. It's sort of like a fighting squid of some kind, with like a hard shell. Sort of like a cross between a crab and a squid. Just trying to get it in focus there. There you go. And that's a water type. What's next? Let's have a look at this holographic Bulbasaur, which evolves to an Ivysaur or a Venusaur in its third form. Also, another one of my favorite. I need to be very careful. You can see it's peeling on the sides there. So I even want to just put this down. But you can see it transforming. Really, really nice. It's a dinosaur with a plant on its back, and the plant gets bigger and it looks older and more dangerous as it goes on. It beats ground, rock, and water. There you go. Grass type Pokemon. Bulbasaur, Venusaur, and Ivysaur. Right, let's have a look at... What's this guy? Ooh, finding it hard to pick up. I think this was also a normal type. Yeah, it's normal, but it's got like a kind of different background. Clefable. It must be a newer one. This one says 2001 on it, so they've got some proof of the date. Doesn't beat anything because it's normal. And this is just kind of a like generic Pokemon. It doesn't really have any animal. I don't know what the name is supposed to be referring to. Clefable. I don't know. My mind just goes to cleaving things like a cleft, like a ridge, or like music, like treble clef. But other than that, I have absolutely no idea. It just kind of it's normal. Very, very. I think the normal might as well be called generic. But there you go. Clefable. Whatever the heck that is. Sorry, maybe I'm being a little bit mean, but I don't know what that is supposed to... It's kind of like Blissey, which we've already seen. I assume that these are related, actually. They probably are. But their numbers are nowhere near each other. We've already looked at Blissey, so that's a double. Let's have a look at Machoke. We've already seen a holographic version of this guy, so we can bring that up again over here. And it's exactly the same image, except a little bit darker, higher contrast, darker. And then we've got normal, rock, and ice is what it beats. Is it the same? Normal, rock, and ice, yeah. But this one's got better graphics. So this one's just got colors. This one's got graphics. Machoke. Right, the next one is a water type. Poliwag. I remember this one quite clearly. It should be a psychic because it's got the hypnosis spiral on its chest. And it beats rock, ground, and fire. Poliwag. Water type. Not much to say about that. Except that it's sort of like a fish. Sort of like a little guppy. That's all I got to say about that. We've already seen Totodile, I believe. So let's just put that aside. What's next? We've seen Wobbuffet. Let's have a look at this guy here. He's been staring at us since the beginning. Voltorb, an electric type Pokemon. This is like a Pokeball. It's very odd. I would actually love to see an episode about this guy just so they could kind of react to how he looks. Hey, that's like I guess you could also say it's a magnet. It's a dipole. It beats water and flying, and there's some glitter on there. Don't know where that's from. Very, very bad condition, though. Not as bad as this one, which we might as well get off the table. Wow, I can't even make out what that is. It's a Sand Slash. We've already got one of these, so that's convenient. But yeah, that's about as bad as it gets, I think, in terms of quality, and it feels a little bit like cardboard. So maybe it's made out of a different material. Who knows? So let's have a look at an insect here, Spinnerack, which is a bug type Pokemon that is based on a sort of tropical spider, and it's got a face on its back, just like eye spots, which I mentioned earlier. Spinnerack, nice. Bug type Pokemon. Ooh, I'm gonna leave that one for later. It looks quite cool. So let's take this guy off the table, which is a very silly looking slug Pokemon called Magcargo. Magcargo. Okay. I think this is an evolved, like this is a second evolved form of another fire type Pokemon. Also, it got a different background from the other fire types. I thought this was like a lava type or something, but it's grass, ice, bug, and steel. So it beats quite a lot. I don't like the design, I have to be quite honest. It's got weird yellow eyes and it kind of freaks. I don't like slugs and snails in reality, so that probably explains why I react like that to it. Okay, next up, we've got two of the same here, so we might as well look at that. One good, relatively good quality Togepi, hey, I'm Togepi, a little Eggman, hey. So this is like a baby Pokemon, which has spiky hair, and it's called Togepi. It's Italian, the only Italian Pokemon. You can see this one's in relatively bad condition, which is why I got them in different piles. Okay, Togepi, not much to say about that. Let's dig into this unique pile over here, which has just got some... Oh, this one's also fighting. So that one should have been in the same pile as Hitmonchan. But here we've got Gary, and it just zooms in on Gary. I don't know who Gary is. I assume Gary is like a trainer or something. Maybe he owns a gym. And he's a trainer. So Gary, this is probably my worst Tazo. It beats all. It's holographic. It beats all. But I don't care for it. I don't care because it's just this could be anyone. It's just a guy with a necklace called Gary. There you go. Beats all. Human type Pokemon. Alright, let's have a look, just a little interlude here, and look at some of these things, which are tops. And this was in the age of Flip. What is the name of that series? I'm going to have to pause the video and I'm just going to take a guess. It's like Battle Tops or something. It's Beyblade, it says on some of the other ones. So this is Beyblade, and these are two Beyblades that are stuck together. The back side is exactly the same as the front side, so it doesn't really matter, and I don't really want to separate them. But there you go. This was a different generation, and they spin quite well actually. Let me spin it in this sensor here. You can just make some space. Whoa. There you go. Whoa. Come on, Tom. Whoa. There you go. Oh, okay. Say these things are precious to me and then I treat them like that. Anyway, there you go. A Beyblade. I don't know if these are special in some way, but not as cool as Tazos for me, and much more likely to break, I would say. Okay, let's have a look at Omanite. What are these called in reality? Now I can't even... It's something like Ammonite or something, but this is an Omanite. And it's basically a fossil, and it's a rock type Pokemon. It beats ice, bug, flying, and fire. And it's kind of like a sea slug or something. A ancient, I know nothing about paleontology. But yeah, it's an ancient sort of creature based on a fossil in reality. So there you go. I think this is its evolved type. So that's number 18138, and this is number 139. Wow, I've got 3 of these guys. That's pretty crazy. Very common, obviously. Beats fire, ice, flying, and bug. So is it the same as this one? Yeah, it's exactly the same. These are all quite good quality. They're all exactly the same, and it's like a scarier version of Ammonite, Omastar. So it's like a starfish sort of Ammonite. I hope that's the right word. And then we've got its third form, which we might as well show. We've already seen this guy. Pseudo-Wudo. And then we've got Omastar. Oh no, wait, this is exactly the same. Okay, it's exactly the same, it's just a different perspective. So I've got 4 Omastars, which is crazy. 4 Omastars and 1 Omanite, and that's almost the whole of the rock pile gone. Then we've got a holographic grass type, Victory Bell, Weeping Bell, and Bellsprout. We've got Victory Bell, Weeping Bell, and Bellsprout. And this is also one of my favorites. I really like this. This is familiar from the cartoons. It's like a bulb. It's a bulb type plant, and it's got 3 forms. Kind of reminds me of the game Plants vs. Zombies. But yeah, that's definitely a precious one to keep. Well, I'm going to keep all of these. That one's really good. Looks like we've got another holographic one coming up there. Let's have a look at this bug type. This is Ariados. And Ariados is a bug type, and it's just based on spider. Jeez, I'm trying to get rid of these Lugias, but we've got so many. So we've got 4 Lugias, which is the sort of psychic dinosaur. But anyway, back to Ariados. A very vibrant looking spider. I bet that this one is the evolved form of Spinnerack. Yeah, their numbers are adjacent, so they are related. Sort of like a tropical spider, like I said earlier. Oh, this one doesn't have what it beats. So let's just have a look at the dates. Does this have dates? Doesn't seem to be any dates on the... Oh, here are the dates. So they both say 2001, but they have different information and different styles. So they must have changed styles during that year. Oh, look at this. The next form. Ledian. I think this is the only set that I have. That's pretty cool. So let's put those in order. We've got Spinnerack, Ariados, and Ledian. I really like that. So Ledian is like a humanoid spider, and it sort of looks like Mega Man. Also beats the same things as this other guy. So this is my only full set, I believe. I'll have to look again later. It's pretty cool that I have that though. I wish I had more full sets, actually, now that I think about it. So let's dig into this normal pile on the left hand side here. We've got Noctowl. We've already seen Togepi. We'll put Togepi over here. Noctowl, just a generic owl. The normal Pokemon is really a category that they could do without, I think. If I was rewriting the entirety of Pokemon, the normal category, they're just animals. Which I guess is the point. So that's Noctowl, number 164. We've seen Standler, haven't we? Yeah. Let's have a look at one of these really damaged normal ones over here. So this is a Fearow. I don't believe I have another Fearow. We'll have to check that. Very bad quality. Wow, you cannot read the bottom half of this back at all. There you go, Fearow. It's like a stork, but I believe this is evolved from the sparrow. I don't know what it's called, but I remember there was a sparrow type Pokemon. So this must be the evolved form of that. I can feel it disintegrating in my hands because my hands are very hot and wet and sweaty. I'm sorry to say. So I can feel it like falling apart in my hands. Okay, next up we have Hitmontop. Okay, so I just realized that Hitmontop is most likely related to what's it? Machoke. Or maybe not. We've got Machoke. Sorry, my Pokemon knowledge is really bad. But we've got Machamp. Okay, no, so they're different. Machamp, and then this is a Hitmonchan. I remember Hitmonchan. I didn't realize they were different Pokemon. Okay, so this is Hitmontop. It beats normal, ice, rock, dark, and steel. That's a lot. So I guess fighting Pokemon are quite rare, but they're really, really strong. They all fight though, which is something that I don't get. But this is the Pokemon type that is based on boxes. Okay, let's put that over there. And let's have a look at this fire type that's staring me in the face. There's doubles. We've got Huo. I think when I was playing as a kid, I deliberately avoided giving away my really good ones. I must have. Because I've got quite a good spread, I would say. This is like a phoenix of some kind. That's the only way to describe it. It's like a hawk or a phoenix. But it's a really big one. It's like an ostrich-sized phoenix. I assume. It looks huge. It could be tiny. But it looks very formidable and gigantic, like a third form evolved Pokemon. So here we have Slowpoke. So I have Slowpoke, and then I have the evolved form. Slowking. I have Slowpoke and Slowking, and these are not consecutive in terms of their numbering, so maybe they're not related. They certainly look related though. It just looks like this one with a hat on and a little neck thing. Rock, ground, and fire is what this one beats. I guess that's kind of useless information because all the water ones beat the same things, but I'm just reading the backs. Here's another damaged one, which is a gold duck. I also unfortunately don't believe I have another gold duck, but we'll find out because their water power is pretty big. Beats the same as all the other blue guys, but that one is falling apart in my hands as well. I can feel it. Some of them just feel like they're made of cardboard. I think this is like some form of laminated cardboard or something. So we might as well take another look at these guys. They're not all Beyblades, which is a bit confusing. This one is a Beyblade, but some of them are like Dragon Ball Z, even though they're tops. This is Kevin, White Tigers. Meaningless to me, but kind of cool nonetheless. It also spins. That was quite satisfying. So these are fun, at least. But they don't look as cool. They have advertising and stuff on them, which isn't nice. Okay, I guess these are advertising. That's essentially what they are. They're to sell Pokemon-related things. Let's have another look at the water pile here. We've got Vaporeon, which is like a water dog. It's like a water cat type thing. Very cool design. I would actually love to see something like this in real life. It's like a mermaid dog, but it's sort of reptilian. It's got reptilian fins and stuff. One of those. Pretty sure it's made to scare predators. Got rock, ground, and fire. Like this thing around its neck. I'm pretty sure that's in reality those things are to make the reptile look much larger than it actually is. So it's sort of like a scare tactic. In this case, it just kind of makes it look like nobility, which is also quite cool. I don't think that would help in the animal kingdom though. Okay, so let's have a look at this 3D one. Oh, we've already had a look at this. We've got this exact one. So that's a double. It's Gloom, Vileplume, and what's the third one? Oddish. Okay, we've got a Jigglypuff in the corner here, which is classic. Jigglypuff was always very amusing in the cartoon. It's like a comedic character who would love to sing, but everyone would fall asleep, which has happened to me before. In reality, several times people would fall asleep while I'm playing guitar, but I didn't take that as an insult. I took it as a compliment. Jigglypuff might be related to Clefable because their numbers are quite close together. If you see here, Clefable is number 36 and Jigglypuff is number 39. But I don't think they are related. I think they're just sort of in the same category. This is an interesting one in the corner here. We've got a Growlithe. And it's a fire type dog Pokemon. Very bad condition, feels like it's falling apart in my hands. Might as well get this one out the way. This is a classic, I remember from the old days, Vulpix. I'm pretty sure I have the evolved form of Vulpix somewhere. Let me have a look. Don't know if I do. What is it? It's like a fox. Oh, whoops! It's like a fox with 6 tails. Very, very cute looking thing. I remember this from when I was very, very young, watching Pokemon. Just going to look through my fire types just to see if I have an evolved form of that. No, I don't think so. It is very familiar looking though. Maybe we'll see another one later. But that's Vulpix. I wish I had a better version of that because that's a very cool looking Pokemon. I like it. Let's dig into this bug pile over here. We've got Butterfree, Caterpie, and Metapod. A very cool holographic one. I've got we looked at another Cocoon earlier, but I don't believe it's the same one. That one, so this is what? Metapod, Caterpie, and Butterfree. Yeah, the other one was a Kakuna. So we've got a Metapod and we've got a Kakuna, which are different. So this is a caterpillar, this one must be like a millipede. Or maybe a moth or a butterfly. Yeah, it's probably a butterfly, actually. Cocoon. Anyway, there you go. That's a bug type. Oh no, this is the butterfly. Sorry, as a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. This is the type of thing that you would know as a kid, but you forget as an adult what becomes what. The other one's probably a moth. So this is a butterfly and this is, the other one's a moth, I think. God, I'm an idiot. Well, here we go. We've got Venom Moth. I don't believe that Kakuna is related to Venom Moth. Kakuna could be another animal altogether. I said millipede, right? Centipedes and millipedes don't they don't transform. I don't believe they transform. So just forget that I said anything. Here we got Venomoth, and it's beats Psychic and Grass, and it's a bug type. There must be another cocoon type, unless the numbers are not always the same. We've got Kakuna and we've got Venomoth. I don't know if they're related or not. What's this one? It's a very bad quality grass Pokemon, which is Execute. It's kind of a dark joke for a kid's cartoon, but it's eggs that are cute, so they're Execute, which is killing someone via government mandate or something. Very bad qualities falling apart in my hands. Okay, let's have a look at the water types again. The pile is starting to go down. Oh, we've already seen Slowking, so we can take that out. This is a Tentacool. So what is the other tentacle based? Here we've got a Tentacruel and a Tentacool. And the Tentacool is the evolved form of the Tentacool. That's pretty cool. And they both eat the same things because they're water Pokemon. It's sort of like a squid just with less tentacles. And that one is cool. Don't know what makes it cool, but there you go. So we have a Spearow over here in quite bad condition. I don't know if you remember, I alluded to this Pokemon earlier when I was looking at Fearow here. And that's because Fearow is the evolved form of Spearow. And these are obviously very early Tazos that are falling apart in my hands. But yeah, that's a Sparrow that is named after a spear. I apologize for the notification sound. Not only do we have the Spearow evolved form, we've also got an Alakazam over here, which is the evolved form of an Abra. And I said at the beginning that Abra evolved to a Kadabra, so I was wrong about that. It actually might. It probably goes Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam. So I actually probably was right, but I'm not 100% sure of that. And then we've got Fighting and Poison, which is what they beat. Oof, this Abra is very damaged. I think my hands are very destructive. They're corrosive in a way. I've got a Wobbuffet. And I have a Lugia. I have literally 6 Lugias. Let's just have a look. Let's count them quick. 1, 2, 3. We've got 5 Lugias. That is way too many Lugias. It's also one of my least favorite Pokemon. So that's ironic, I think. Who knows what irony really means. So, what's next? Let's have a look at this guy over here. Looks quite cool. I think this might be my all-time favorite just because of the way that the background looks. This is a Dragonite, Dratini, and a Dragonair. The film, or whatever you call it, is starting to come off, as it is with all of these. So I need to be very careful. But this is a dragon type Pokemon. It might be my only dragon type. Lugia should also be a dragon type, but it's not. Dragonite, Dratini, and Dragonair. Dragonite evolves to Dragonair, which evolves to Dragonite. Okay. What's next? Got another holographic Weeping Bell, Bellsprout, Victory Bell. I think we've already covered that. We've got a Evolving Bulbasaur, so this is also a double. We've already seen this. Looks like we have 3 of these, and I'm actually quite pleased about that because it is one of my favorites. We've already seen that one. So we're moving through this grass pile at pace. I think these must be related. They look similar. No, they're not. Okay. So we've got a Sunkern. Woohoo. That's depressing. It's like a crying fruit of some kind. And it's a grass type Pokemon. It looks delicious. Maybe that's why it's depressed. Let's move now to a water type again. So we've covered one of these, I remember, Poliwag. So we covered Poliwag. A Poliwag evolves to a Poliwhirl, which evolves to a Poliwrath. So I guess the symbol on its chest isn't linked to hypnosis. It's supposed to be like a whirlpool. But actually, you know, I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like a tadpole that evolves into like a frog. Yeah, actually, I kind of do like this Pokemon. I've made up my mind. It is cool. I like the first form, which is sort of like a tadpole fish with legs, and Poliwag to Poliwrath. It just goes from looking normal to looking angry. The final form of every Pokemon is just angry. For some reason. They're all like pissed off. Okay, now let's do another water one. Seeing as we've got a Squirtle. This is right up there with one of the best Tazos that I have. It's a Squirtle to a Wartortle. A Squirtle to a Wartortle. I've never heard of that. To a Blast. I have heard of a Blastoise. I don't remember Wartortle though, and that's funny. So let's see, Squirtle, Wartortle, and I don't. Oh no, sorry. So Wartortle is the 3rd form, and wait. Oh no, Blastoise is the 3rd form. It's a little bit confusing because it's not lining up perfectly. But yeah, this is awesome. So I was right the first time. Blastoise is the most evolved form, and it's the one that has the cannons on the back. It's weird how this particular Pokemon evolves machinery. It's like it evolves a cannon on its back, like gunpowder and stuff. So let's have a look at this final. Oh no, oh there's the final because we've got this Sudowoodo, which we've already covered, and then we've got 2 Kabutos, which is another sort of fossil. It's a rock type Pokemon. They live inside the rock because they're dead fossils. Got a 1 bad quality, 1 good quality Kabuto. It's kind of a uninteresting Pokemon. Right, next we have a triangular Pikachu. I think this is my only Pikachu, which is sad, really. I should have more Pikachus. But this is a Pikachu that evolves, and I need to be very careful with this one. It's Pikachu, Raichu, and Pichu. It's very difficult to make out because it's so badly warped. This is really unfortunate. If I could fix this, that would be great, but I don't think I can. It's Pikachu, a Raichu, and a Pichu. Pichu, but you can't really see very clearly. So I assume that a Pikachu evolves from a Pichu, is that right? And then it evolves to a Raichu. I can barely make out what a Raichu looks like. That's sad. Oh well, I'm gonna have to move past that. It's an electric. Oh, here we have a Raichu. So there we can see what a Raichu looks like. I think it must go Pichu, Pikachu, Raichu. Sorry, we passed over that Raichu very quickly. Let's just have a better look at that. It's like a Pikachu, but its tail is bigger, it's a slightly different color, and it has curly fins or ears, and it beats water and flying because it's an electric type Pokemon. Then we have Magnemite, seeing as we're doing the electrical type Pokemon, and it's just a sort of magnet with an eye. It's two magnets with an eye with 3 screws attached. Almost looks like a compass, but it's not. It's just 2 magnets, 3 screws, and an eyeball. That's Magnemite. So I did actually allude earlier to a magnetic Pokemon, but I guess it's just electromagnetism. They're electric Pokemon. So let's do this Hoot. I think this must evolve into the owl type Pokemon, which I'm just searching for right now. Oh, here it is. Noctowl. So we've got Noctowl and Hoot. Hoot evolves into a Noctowl. Hoot almost looks like it's not alive. It looks like it's a doll or something. I think I do remember from the cartoons they were sort of like that too. It almost looks like it's a fake animal. And that's a Hoot. Let's have a look at this grass type Pokemon, which is a Hoppet. I don't believe I have the evolved form of this guy. It might turn up later. It's sort of like a radish or something. Oh, I believe there is one that is actually directly named after a radish. I'm going to have to look through my grass types later. So anyway, there you go. Hoppets, grass type Pokemon. We've already covered Pineco. We've covered Spinneract. We've covered Kakuna. We've covered Ariados. Oh, this is a new one. Huh. Ladybug. Okay, so this is completely different. This is not related to the spider types. We've got 2 of them. Ladybug. Very cute Pokemon based on a ladybug, of course. But in Pokemon world, bugs are called buzz. Right. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's look at another Dragon Ball Z thing here. Got a Super Saiyan Gold Tazo. Wow, gold. What is the other one called? The other one is called just a Click Tazo. But this one is a Gold Tazo. And that's because it's got like gold coloring. And it's like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Yeah, that's what it says. Super Saiyan 3. Oh, I nailed that. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and he's got a halo and everything because he's dead. Funimation. It's even got Funimation. Colored metal Tazos. These are very, very rare, I assume. I don't know, maybe there are hundreds of them. Well, there are definitely hundreds, maybe there are millions of them. Okay. Let's go back into the water pile and have a look at Lantern and Chinchu. Chinchu and Lantern, yeah, it's just those 2, I believe. Yep. Chinchu evolves into a Lantern. It's sort of like almost like a pilot fish, but not as mean looking. Pilot fish have a bunch of teeth and stuff. In reality, this one is more like a sort of peaceful pilot fish, and it beats rock, ground, and fire because it's a water Pokemon. Right, we've seen this guy. This one might be better quality, actually. Wartortle, Blastoise. It's really unfortunate about that Pikachu one. I'm gonna have to see if I can fix it. So let's have a look at this one, because it's been sitting here for ages, and we've got 3 of them. Donphin, sorry. A Donphin, which is sort of like a cross between an elephant and an armadillo. I don't know why they called it a Donphin. Maybe it's got dolphin in it as well. But dolphins are sort of related to rhinos and hippos and elephants and stuff, because they're all mammals, right? That's a ground type Donphin. I guess you could picture this digging into the ground, because it's sort of like an armadillo and it's got those tusks which you could dig with. Quite a cool looking ground type Pokemon. Might as well finish off the ground types with this holographic Sandshrew to Sandslash. So we have a Sandslash already, but it's not holographic. So here we have a Sandshrew that evolves to a Sandslash. Very cool ground type Pokemon. Okay, let's have a look at the Bayleaf. The Bayleaf must be related to this guy, which is the Chikorita, and as we can see, their numbers are consecutive. They look kind of similar. And this is kind of like just a sort of plant rabbit that evolves into a sort of plant llama. And I guess you can eat its leaves, which would be kind of weird. You could put its body parts in a salad if you wanted. So there you go. Grass type Pokemon, Bayleaf. So next we have Sentret, which is a normal type Pokemon. It's sort of like a raccoon. This must evolve into the bear with the circle on its chest. If I can just find that real quick. Real quick. Oh, there you go. Ursaring. So, here we've got Sentret. Oh no, so they're not related. Well, their numbers are at least not consecutive. I was convinced that these were related because of the circle on the chest. But clearly not. This is a Sentret, and it's like a raccoon or something. Here you go, normal type Pokemon. It's like a faceless raccoon. Here we have another normal type Pokemon, a holographic or 3D Tazo, and it's very subtle, the differences between the 3 types here, but there are 3. There's Pidgeot, Pidgeotto, and Pidgey. So I suppose Pidgey is the first one, and then it evolves to Pidgeotto, and then finally to Pidgeot. And doesn't beat anything because it's normal. Very nice, holographic, normal type Pokemon. And what do you know, we have another one. Pidgey, Pidgeotto, and Pidgeot. So we have the final psychic Pokemon here, a very bad quality Drowsy. Drowsy, I guess, could be compared to Jigglypuff, but confusingly, Jigglypuff is just a normal Pokemon. Perfectly normal, pink, talking, singing ball. It should be a psychic type, I think, because it puts people to sleep. But here we go, we've got Drowsy, and it's like a hypnotic psychic type Pokemon. So we have here a square Dragon Ball Z Tazo. That is the only type that I still have. It's a Super Cube, it's not a Tazo. And it has a 2-star Dragon Ball on the back, and then it has all these different connectors. And I remember having many of these. I don't know what happened to them. But you could use them to build structures by connecting these side pieces at right angles, and you could make these cubes, which are essentially dice because they have Dragon Balls on each side. So that's an interesting game. The only issue with this game is that you need at least 6 of them to play. So you need to buy at least 6 packets of chips before you can even start winning other people's ones. And then I guess you would win 6 at a time. So it doesn't really make sense as a game. And also, I feel like the shape is more prone to breaking. But here you go, it's Piccolo blasting the moon, which is a classic episode. I think it's when Gohan is very young, Piccolo trains Gohan, and Gohan transforms into a giant monkey, as is typical of Saiyans when they reach maturity. And Piccolo destroyed the moon. Instead of destroying Gohan, he decides to blow up the moon, which was kind of an epic story. I'm much more clued up about Dragon Ball Z than I am about Pokemon. Not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball. I actually know the original series better than Dragon Ball Z. So let's have a look at the next water Pokemon, which is Marill, which evolves into Azumarill, which is like a sort of more elongated version of the previous one with more patterns on it. I think the rule in evolving is it goes from simple to complex, which makes sense in terms of, biology in real life, simple to complex. What should we look at next? Let's do, well, this one we've already seen, right? We've actually got 3 of these, which is too many. So I guess we could look at the last triangular Tazo that we have, which is a very warped Charmander to Charizard, and I believe this is the only Charmander to Charizard that I have. So what do we have? Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. And it's a real pity. Oh, no. Here we go. What am I talking about? Here's another one. We got Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. Much, much better. And we even have a third one here. Awesome. I would say this is probably my best Tazo that I have. I can't remember which other ones that I said were my favorites. But this one is pretty cool too. Well, I kind of do remember. It's this dragon one here. The dragon one, the Charmander. I believe there's a Bulbasaur that I really, really like too. And a Bulbasaur. Sorry, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Dratini. Those are like in the same category for me. Here we have another Poliwrath. So we have 3 Poliwraths, which are holographic, which is pretty good. I'm going to have to organize these. Yeah, this is the 3rd Poliwrath. 3 holographic ones. And here's another Squirtle. So we've got 3 holographic Squirtles. So I'm quite blessed. At least when it comes to Tazos. Okay. What can we look at next? Let's finish up what we got on the table. We've seen this Chikorita. Chikorita is such a funny name for a Pokemon. And we've got Parasect, which is like a crab type Pokemon. Not much to say about that, except it's a sort of spooky looking soulless crab. And it's falling apart in my hands, very damaged. We've got here a Bellossom. I think I might have a relation to the Bellossom somewhere, but I'll have to look later. Let's split these up. We've got another Bellossom here. We've got 3 Bellossoms. We've got a Sunflora. We've got a Jumpluff. So let's just bring those up. We got Jumpluff here, which is like a Dandelion, I guess. There's dandelions, and I think there's another type of flower that's similar. Got the sunflora, basically a sunflower that's laughing, very cute. Then we've seen Stantler, we've seen Miltank, we've seen Noctowl, and we've seen Spearow. So we actually have 2 Spearows, I think. Unless this is one that I've already looked at and it's just found its way back into the table. So here we have a very warped nurse. The problem with the warped ones is that they end up just looking like garbage, because you need to look at them from a very specific angle. So when the surface isn't entirely flat, it just looks like garbage. But this is Joy, a nurse, and I assume she's just supposed to zoom in, but it just looks terrible, unfortunately. So we can take these blossoms off. Here we have a Nidoran to a Nidoqueen. So it goes Nidoran, Nidorina, Nidoqueen. And this is kind of like a rat crossed with a dinosaur type thing. The Nidoqueen has better armor and better claws. And that's a poison. It's a poison type Pokemon, interestingly. Oh, and look at this. We've got a Nidoran, but a male version. So you get female. I don't think this is true of all Pokemon, but this one evolves into a Nidoking. So let's compare the Nidoqueen to the Nidoking. Nidoking is controversially pink. So it's subversive. You see, the queen is blue, and this is in 2001, guys. It will work back in 2001, and they say it's a new thing. So it's the Nido. Oh, very cute. So let me see my other Nidoran. If I can find it. Huh. Okay, I'll have to find that later, but I can't see it right now. But I do have another Nidoran somewhere. And yeah, I think it's the pink one. So the Nidoran girl, or the Nidoran boy rather, it's very confusing. Okay, no. The Nidoking is female. It's got a female symbol. And then the Nidoqueen is male. Okay, I'm too confused. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's got a little female sign by the Nidoking. Okay, here maybe it's just a typo. This is Stunt Wheels. Oh, it's Dragon Ball GT. So this isn't a top, this is a stunt wheel. I'm sure it works as a top though. Yeah, it does, but it hasn't got the point like the other ones. This is for stunting. So you build a little wall and then you roll it. The surface of this table isn't good enough, but come on. There you go. So it's got little ridges on the side for that. But this is Giru. It's just like a generic robot character. Here we have Boris of the Demolition Boys. I don't know what this is in reference to. It must be Beyblades, yeah. It's got a very, very small Beyblades logo there. And then over here we have Otamamon. Otamamon, that's a terrible name. Otamamon. This is a Digimon. This is the only Digimon thing that I have. It's also a Tazo though. Level, rookie, group, amphibian, type, virus, technique, slamming attack. Looks like they went for like a cross between regular Tazos and the cube thing here, which you can sort of build with. That sort of works. You can build with these. They're not made to work together though, I don't think. And then finally we have Gotenks. This is a character I'm not very familiar with. I don't know the later seasons of Dragon Ball. There you go, click Tazos. So that's my entire Tazo collection. Finally, we have these Dragon Ball Z cards, which used to belong to my brother. They still do. If he wants them back, I'll give them to him. But he got these probably from his friend Richie, who was either Chinese or Japanese, I'm not sure. Pretty sure Dragon Ball Z is Japanese though. I know so little. Sorry, but let's have a look through these cards. Some of them are a little bit warped. Here we have Son Goku Power. What is that? 1,800,000. 1,800,000. And then on the back it's just a negative. These are very cool. I need to be careful with them. Holographic and everything. Not holographic, sort of like, I don't know what you call that. Sort of like a kaleidoscope, glossy. This is Cell, I believe. There's no English on here, except for the Made in Japan text over there. We have a new story. I don't know these two characters at the back here. I actually need to get around to watching it at some point. I probably don't know who that is either. I was gonna say it's Gohan, but it clearly isn't. Gohan's probably the old one. Trunks and Vegeta and Cell. Power 200,000. There's no English. All of these have like different things on the back, so I don't think they were related to the same game. And these are also probably older than I am. Because I don't remember a time before I had these. Ken always had these around. Ken is my brother. Here we have Power 70,000, Androids. Let's have a look at the back of this one. Okay, that one's the same as the previous one. We have, what's his name? Frieza, Power 5,000. We have Goku and Krillin. Goku versus Cell. Just a negative on the back. Sorry, I'm going through these quite fast because this is just the end of the video and I'm quite tired. So 100,000. Don't know who that is. Probably Gohan or something. He's reading a book, so it must be Gohan. The back is just a negative. We have Cell again, a group of randoms. Wonder if I can name all these people. Oh, jeez, I don't think I can. So, flip man. So we got Trunks, Krillin, Master Roshi. I can't remember the pig's name. I can't remember the mime's name. I should know this guy's name. I really should. It's not Tien. Tien's the other one, right? Yeah, anyway. I said I know more about Dragon Ball Z. I can't remember that. These two are friends, though. Remember that. What is this guy's name? I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me later. And here's a double. Here is... What's this guy's name? Doesn't have his name. I think his name is like Elvis or something stupid. Yeah, also no name on that one. It's like Elvis or Johnny Cash or Mr. T. And then we have Cell again. We have Gohan, I think. Krillin. Goku crying, which is perfectly in character. We have Trunks and Piccolo. Gohan. Probably not Gohan, probably the other character, Go Trunks or whatever his name is. Android. Honestly, I get bored like halfway through Dragon Ball Z. I like Dragon Ball, the original. That's what I said originally. I said I know more about Dragon Ball. But this character's from Dragon Ball, which is why I should know his name. I think this is Tien. Oh, I'm gonna kick myself when I find out. The famous underwhelming 3. Got Mr. Popo and Piccolo Jr. I don't know what his name is. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. It's Knights of something or other. It's got a lance. It looks like Lego or something, but that's completely unrelated. This doesn't seem like it's Dragon Ball Z, and I don't think it is. No idea what. Oh, Street Fighter. Okay, yeah, I've got some Street Fighter cards here too. So here's some. I don't know anything about Street Fighter, so I don't know who these people are. I mean, I've played it once or twice, and it's a cool game. I really like the characters, but I have no idea what their names are. It's a flying dude. Maybe their names are on the back. No. I feel like my corrosive fingers are just doing so much damage. These aren't worth much. I've looked them up online. I'm wondering if the Tazos are worth anything though. Very cool sort of Wolverine type character. Not Wolverine, I think his name is. And then a very cool, glossy, cartoony illustration of all the Street Fighter characters. And that's it. And all these go in this special Dragon Ball Z card box, which has a little belt clip and stuff. If you're a Dragon Ball Z card lover on the move, it's perfect for you. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed that. I love stuff like this. It makes me very, very happy to have this stuff. I don't know why. It's completely worthless tat, but it has sentimental value to me, and I remember having a lot of fun as a kid in the playground. And the reason that I have so many is because I won them. So to me, these are my trophies. So again, thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, whatever, and tune in for more episodes in the future. I got some big stuff coming up. So thanks again, Pokemon lovers. Class dismissed.